Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. Today, I want to do something a little bit different for this episode of Instagram versus reality. In my research for my other series, When Beauty Turns Ugly, I stumbled across a list from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, who are the American version of the ASA here, the Advertising Standards Association. And what they do nowadays is basically make sure everyone's playing by the rules, celebrities, brands, influencers, when it comes to advertising online, on TV, in film, whatever. And I came across this list that I'm looking at now. It's basically a list of celebrities and people who they class as influencers who are just celebrities who have been sent warning letters regarding their undisclosed advertisements, product endorsements, all in the form of social media posts. I was going to do this with influencers as well, but there aren't actually that many influencers. They all tend to be celebrities or reality TV celebrities, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. So they've all been posting adverts for products without disclosing or making it obvious that it was an advert, and all you need to do this is put hashtag ad, and they failed to do this. These are all celebrities who have been warned about this more than once, yet still properly failed to disclose adverts. Between the list of about 21 celebrities, not all of them we're going to talk about today, they have posted adverts for over 500 different brands without disclosing that was an advert. And this kind of gets me more than influencers, because influencers will be called out on this in a second, but celebrities kind of seem to get away with this because they're not really classed as influencers. It's like people are like, oh, you know, it's fine. Celebrities have always advertised stuff without disclosing, like let them get away with it. But there is that fine line, well, there's not really a fine line now between celebrity and influencer, and it doesn't matter who you are, you should be playing by the rules or the law when it comes to advertising on social media. Why is this important? Because we don't want to be missold stuff. We don't want to be falsely sold stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to do my morning routine. I've just showered. My hair slicked back because it's wet, not because it's my new hairstyle or anything. And I thought we'd just go through a few standout ones. This is kind of to name and shame, but also just to emphasize that a lot of public figures still don't disclose adverts or take the very basic advertising laws seriously and possibly help you spot deceptive marketing. Okay, so I've cleansed my face. I used the Bioma Jelly Cleanser, very nice gentle normal cleanser, and I'm going to use my toner for the day. This is the Watermelon Glow PHA BHA Pore Tight Toner from Glow Recipe. This, I've lost count of how many of these I've used, but this is just a really nice hydrating, really gently exfoliating toner that has like this thick texture to it. That means you can put it in the palm of your hands and apply it to your skin without it dripping down your arms. And this just really nicely hydrates. Okay, so let's start with Shay Mitchell. I must say, from what I know about Shay Mitchell and her credits when it comes to what she's acted in, I really like her. I pretty much like every program she's been in. Pretty Little Liars was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And that sponsored face wipe post she did where she like pretended to wipe off her makeup and it was like really fake, is I've never seen something so funny and so bad in my life. I thought it was hilarious.
Favorite. Even waterproof mascara, and leaves my skin feeling so fresh and so...
But she's done a fair few undisclosed sponsored posts. These are posts that the celebrity initially posted without the disclosure. They may have updated it recently or completely deleted the post to fit the guidelines after being warned. But Shay Mitchell has easily done over 100 undisclosed advertisements. Some of them are questionable if you ask me. So let's take a look at a few. The Revolve clothing brand seems to be a brand that she's done quite a few undisclosed sponsored posts for, and these aren't just her posing in an outfit tagging Revolve. These are posts where she is obviously hitting points to check off that the brand has given her. She's done 4 alleged sponsored posts for them, all of which remain undisclosed. You'll notice in the post that she sometimes hashtags Revolve partner. This has been deemed, whatever brand partner has been deemed not efficient enough to explain. That means it's paid content. So just put hashtag ad. I don't know why people find it so difficult to just put hashtag ad in their post. You know, and gifted and PR is something different. That usually means you've been sent the product with no obligation to post about it. Instagram have a paid partnership option as well, which also some brands find difficult to use or they just won't use it. But also the FTC deems it as not enough either. But in my opinion, this one is obviously a paid for post. Revolve partner. There's a high quality picture. You know, she's obviously put effort into this post. which I presume she was being paid for. They've actually classed this next one as an advert, which I completely disagree with. So Shay Mitchell obviously has her hair done here. It's more like a lifestyle kind of picture. She's shown her hair, her bag, what she's drinking, her kind of like accessories for the day, which is a very lifestyle blogger thing to do, right? She's even tagged the hairstylist who did her hair. Now, in my opinion, you can see from the stylist Instagram and this post and everything that Shay Mitchell was not paid to do this post, in my opinion. This is a classic case of a celebrity influencer gets their hair done, wants a nice picture of it, and is nice enough and thankful enough to tag the stylist in the post. Technically, yes, this may have boosted the stylist's books or whatever, but she quite likely paid for it. Like, if she's drinking at Starbucks, got the drink herself and used her own money, then tagged Starbucks because she's drinking it, she doesn't have to put like, ad, love my Starbucks. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because she's tagged a service, it doesn't mean she's paid for it. What actually could have happened was the stylist did her hair in exchange for a post, and then that would have been gifted. But the stylist actually, when you look, is a celebrity stylist who works on shoots all the time. So I'm guessing they've all been paid to be there for the day. They've all been paid to do their work, and Shay is just showing what her hair looks like. I wouldn't say this was an advert. And what annoys me about this is on the website there, like the FTC has done a deep dive investigation. It's like also use your common sense and think of everyday situations that this celebrity or influencer would be in, you know? I wouldn't say just because you tag a service, it means you have to put hashtag ad if no money is exchanged hands. If it's not an agreed gifted situation, you know? The pigeon's back. Okay, next I'm going to go with my Torridon Dive-In Serum. This is a low molecular weight hyaluronic acid serum. I try to minimize the amount of hyaluronic acid I use just because I do think my skin got a little bit sensitive to it. When I used too much, I was using like an array of low molecular weight hyaluronic acid and I feel like it was irritating my skin. So I try to use just one dedicated hyaluronic acid product a day. Its nickname is the 3-second serum because it does just sink into the skin. Yeah, very quick and easy to use. My eyelashes just fall out all the time. Scott Disick. I was actually surprised at how little non-disclosed ads he has compared to the amount of ads he does. Knowing that the Kardashian Jenners, who we'll move on to lately, are kind of the poster children for undisclosed advertisements on social media and retouching their adverts, I thought he'd be the same. I mean, well, compared to the Kardashians, he's got only 27 posts considered undisclosed ads. Only 27. It should be none, right? But this is the most obvious one by far, a very obvious advert for Polaroid. He says, this hashtag Polaroid Mint instant print camera is the best, even when Hirsch is not camera ready. Got at Meet Polaroid to give my followers 10% off when they shop now through the date. Just follow at Meet Polaroid and use the code 10Lord at checkout, hashtag ad. So he does have ad in there. So why are they being like this? I think this one's a bit, I don't know how I feel about this one. Let me know what you think. But the supposed issue here is that he's put hashtag ad at the end of his post. Now, you might think it's just in there, like what's the problem? The issue is what the FTC and ASA want influencers and celebrities to do is make it very, very clear from the very beginning of the post, before people have had a chance to view the whole post, like the post, share the post. They want people to know that it is an advert. Their argument for this is that often you have to click like that little more to read the whole post, and often that ad is hidden. So whilst this isn't an undisclosed advert, what they're saying is that it's a bit sneaky to put hashtag ad at the end of a post. He's actually since deleted this post instead of just amending it to kind of like keep up with the FTC warnings, along with quite a few clothing brands sponsorships that he had, and they've all been deleted as well. However, he still does have some undisclosed adverts for a few other clothing companies and private jet hires, which still remain on his Instagram. We kind of know that the jet hire ones are adverts, that his undisclosed adverts, because the whole Kardashian Jenner family use them, and sometimes hashtag ad it, sometimes don't, but do and don't across multiple platforms. Again, we'll come to that in a bit. Here's another one that I'm like, they are classing this post of his car where he tags the car dealership as an ad. But again, how do you know he didn't just like buy his car and tag them because they helped him out a lot, or he like regularly buys his cars from this place? I mean, technically anything a celebrity or influencer posts is an advert because you're giving credit to the brand or the company. An advert, a real advert, is a paid sponsorship. I don't think you can just presume something is an advert because the celebrity or influencer tags a brand in something or an establishment. Looking deeper into the Calabasas luxury car company, it looks like they became friends, the owner and Scott Disick, through Scott Disick being a customer rather than through sponsored posts. So I wouldn't just presume it, but it is hard to tell if they don't disclose their ads in the first place. Next up is my Royal Honey Propolis Enriched Moisture Nutrient Propolis Extract by Skin Food. This is just a nicely moisturizing, soothing, hydrating serum. I used to use this like quite often, and then I stopped using it, and then I did a sponsored job with Style Korean, and I got to pick the serums, and I saw this again, and it kind of like reintroduced me to an old favorite of mine that everyone seems to love. But this is something I'll use when my skin, well, just every day actually, when it's feeling a little bit like it's gonna go south, or when it is feeling dry, or it just needs a bit of a pick-me-up. When it's maybe like a little bit tender, maybe I use a strong exfoliant the night before. Next up, we have Lisa Rinna. I'm a Housewives fan, Atlanta and Beverly Hills being my two favorite. But when it comes to reality stars, they just seem to be absolutely terrible at one, grasping how being an influencer works, but also two, disclosing ads. I know here in the UK, the ASA actually monitor reality stars' content, especially people from programs like Love Island, The Only Way is Essex, Made in Chelsea, because they are notorious for doing sponsor after sponsor after sponsor and not disclosing that their adverts are not doing it properly. But yeah, Lisa Rinna isn't the worst, as it appears she only has 3 posts that are alleged undisclosed ads. There should be none, again, but when we compare them to, say, Shay Mitchell, for example, that's good. But this one I'm surprised at, having worked with this brand myself, and this is Lisa Rinna's post for Kate Somerville. There's a couple of things wrong with this clearly sponsored post. One, you can barely see the products. They're like in and out shot, and they're blurry. 2, it looks like it's filmed on a Nokia 3210, like it looks terrible. But 3, there is a horrible, obvious filter on it, like one of the original Snapchat filters, kind of filters on it. Who approved this? Who at Kate Somerville looked at this and was like, that's fine, that can go ahead. Never mind the clearly full bottles of product that she's never touched and the age-old filter. You know, it's... As I mentioned, I've worked with Kate Somerville and they were great. They gave me so much time to test out their products, months actually. And then when the brief came through, like most brands do, they have a really clear section about what must be included in the post, with clear sponsorship details being one of those. And I don't know how much they paid her for this post, but I would ask for my money back, to be honest with you. Now, her next post, I'm like, come on now, this is for Cruel. And yes, this post is so heavily filtered and shouldn't be allowed as an advertisement for skincare or body care. What we're talking about here though in general is a list of undisclosed ads, not filters or deceptive advertising, I guess. So they're considering here that. Now let me know what you think about this, but Lisa Rinna has hashtagged this post sponsored. And whilst my personal preference is to put hashtag ad, I do feel like influencers and paid content in the public eye has been around for so long that we all know that hashtag sponsored means this is a sponsored post, a paid sponsorship, meaning there is money involved. But the FTC are basically saying that this isn't good enough. They're basically saying that you need to put hashtag ad, which I think is a little bit nitpicky now. Am I just saying that because I am an influencer and I understand these terms? Let me know. I'm not sure. Let's move on to Akon. Now, Akon is on this list with only 6 undisclosed adverts. And looking at the posts, I really put this down to him just not understanding the rules. And kind of everything he posts falls in a grey area, in my opinion. These aren't average, I'm going to hold a product and smile with it and say how much I love it kind of posts. These all seem to be him just taking pictures at events that he was invited to, events that he was already at, for example, or things he's doing in his daily life. So not in a way that the content would be like, you must perform here, or if you're performing here, you have to post 1 Instagram post plus 1 Instagram story. You know, not in that kind of way. It all seems very organic. Like in this post, he's at a Philip Plain show. He's wearing his clothes, so I guess that's an ad, but he was already at the fashion show, and usually you're not required to take pictures there. It looks like he's just having a picture with the stylist, with the designer, and be like, thanks for inviting me, you know. So is that an ad? Like if you just turn up somewhere where a brand's involved, is that an ad? I guess if you're wearing this stuff and You are obviously picked by the brand to wear their stuff. I guess that's an ad, right? In one picture, he's using a luxury car company and posts about them. And I guess this is a grey area too, right? Like how do we know that he's just not using this car company to be driven around Dubai and he loved the service that he was getting, so he tagged them? To me, that's not an advert. Using a service and then you love it, so you say thank you by posting about it. That's not an advert to me. In the influencer term of paid sponsorship, he has every right to talk about service that he enjoyed without it being an advert, you know? Or if they offered to drive him around, then yes, that's an advert, right? We'll drive you around if you post. That's an advert. Akon is one of the only celebrities on this list who has fully complied with the FTC's notices and deleted all of his posts on Instagram. Right, I'm going to use a sunscreen. This is the Tokobo Bio Watery Sun Cream SPF 50 Plus PA 4 Pluses. This is a very nice chemical sunscreen. And this has an incredibly watery, hydrating texture. It smells a bit like garden centre. You know, it's very planty. It does give you a very dewy, healthy glow. I tend to not go around the eyes, but with these ones, but I do have a stick version of this sunscreen that I will go around the eyes with. And I will use that stick version on my neck as well, like really layer it up. Finally, we can't do this video without talking about the Kardashian Jenners, notorious for not disclosing adverts, delaying disclosure, and even making weird made up hashtags to try and hide the fact that it's a sponsored post. Very, very odd. This post, for example, from Kylie Jenner advertising the Balmain Beats is labeled with the hashtag SP, which absolutely no one uses or recognizes as a sponsored post hashtag. Like, no one uses this. No one's like, oh, SP sponsored. It could mean spearmint or salt and pepper. Like, it could mean anything. And this is clearly an advert, so why not just put hashtag ad? It's very odd. The whole world knows, Kylie Jenner, how you are making money, which is fine. Do what you need to do to make money. You're obviously very good at it. Why try and hide it? Or do you seriously? I just don't believe the sisters here don't know how to post a proper advert or social media post. It baffles me. Kendall Jenner has done a very similar thing, tagging a post, hashtag KJ4EL. It looks like a really bad, personalized license plate, doesn't it? Meaning Kendall Jenner for Estee Lauder. And here's the thing, whilst it may not be an obvious advert, if you have financial interest in what you are posting about, as in you're going to directly make money from the thing you're posting about, you have to say it's an advert. You have to say it's an advert. And clearly, not with these weird hashtags that the brand makes up for you to post about, which is fine. Do whatever the brand's hashtag is, but no one knows what the fuck that means, and you need to put advert. Kourtney Kardashian seems to have fixed the majority of her social media posts after being warned by the FTC, like this one for a private jet company. However, only after more than 1 million people had liked and seen her post in the first place. What's the point? And this is the same jet company that Scott Disick didn't hashtag ad, but always talked about and tagged in his posts. And it appears like the whole family basically used this jet company. Circling back to Kendall Jenner, who posts about this company, disclosing the advert on Instagram, but not on Facebook, which is weird. When it comes to the companies, Fitty and Puma seem to be the brands that have the least issues with the Kardashian Jenners not disclosing that they're working with them by not putting ad, actually allowing Kylie alone to post 14 undisclosed adverts for both brands. So 14 for Puma, 14 for Fitty. Whilst Kylie is the overall sister who takes the crown for the most undisclosed adverts, closely followed by Khloe. In 2016, a letter was actually sent to their manager and mother, Kris Jenner, along with their lawyer, notifying them of the investigation into their deceptive advertising. And in 2017, 40% of their undisclosed adverts still remained up on their pages. I couldn't find newer data, to be honest, but I presume they just gave up. Because they just keep doing it. I do feel like they're better at it nowadays. What's that hair doing there? Okay. The amount of pressure that's put on influencers, rightfully so, to correctly post what needs to be posted when it comes to posting an advert should be put on celebrities too. And really their management should be making sure they're doing this. And I'm done. I'm going to do my hair now and film another video. But let me know what you think about this. And honestly, are you good at knowing when a post is an advert or not an advert? Do you think it's being picky to say that hashtag ad should be right at the beginning? I don't think it is. Do you think it's picky to say that sponsored, hashtag sponsored, isn't disclosure enough? I think it is, personally. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You can watch some more Instagram versus reality here and some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.